Good morning, everyone. I want to talk about something we've all felt at some point in our lives, the sting of being ignored. Maybe it was a friend who didn't text back, a colleague who didn't acknowledge your idea, or someone you cared about who turned their focus elsewhere. The temptation is to chase, isn't it? To prove you're worthy of their attention. But I'm here to tell you that when someone ignores you, the answer is not to chase, it's to pause, reflect, and reclaim your power. When you chase someone who is ignoring you, you unintentionally place yourself in a position of inferiority. Think about it, the very act of chasing is rooted in the belief that their attention is more valuable than your time, your energy, and your self-worth. It's as if you're saying, I need your approval to feel complete, but here's the hard truth. Every step you take in that pursuit chips away at your dignity. Dignity is the quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing who you are. It's rooted in self-respect, self-awareness, and an unrelenting belief that you deserve to be treated with kindness and consideration. Chasing someone sends a different message it tells the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you're willing to set aside your own value for the mere possibility of being seen by someone else. Imagine watching someone run after a person who continues to walk away. It's a one-sided dynamic that feels uncomfortable, even to an observer. Now consider how it feels to be that person doing the chasing. It's exhausting, disheartening, and frankly unnecessary. The truth is, the right relationships, whether they are friendships, professional partnerships, or romantic connections, don't require you to chase. They flow naturally, built on mutual respect and shared effort. Chasing also gives the other person a position of power they didn't earn. You're essentially placing them on a pedestal, convincing yourself that their attention or validation is the key to your happiness. But here's the reality, no one has that much power over your life unless you hand it to them. And every moment you spend chasing someone who doesn't value you is a moment you take away from building your own sense of worth and investing in people who truly care. Choosing not to chase doesn't mean giving up on people too quickly or being closed off. It means setting boundaries that protect your self-respect. It means recognizing when someone's actions or lack thereof don't align with the love and kindness you deserve. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness, it's a declaration of your dignity. So when you feel the pull to chase, pause and ask yourself, what am I hoping to gain from this? What am I sacrificing in the process? And most importantly, is this aligned with the kind of relationship I want in my life? Let your dignity be the compass that guides you. You don't have to run after anyone to prove your worth. Those who truly value you will stand still, turn around, and meet you where you are. Let's take a moment to unpack what dignity truly means. Dignity is the quiet, unwavering belief in your own worth. It's the way you carry yourself, the boundaries you set, and the respect you show yourself in every interaction. It is not loud, boastful, or demanding. It is calm, rooted, and self-assured. When you chase someone who is ignoring you, you unintentionally chip away at that dignity. You signal to the world, and more importantly to yourself, that their attention, approval, or validation is more important than the respect you hold for yourself. Chasing doesn't just erode your sense of self, it also distorts the dynamic of the relationship, making it lopsided and transactional. I think about the act of chasing, it inherently creates a pursuer and a pursued. The person being chased becomes the one with the power, whether they've earned it or not. They dictate the terms of the interaction, while you shrink yourself into a state of desperation, constantly seeking something they may not be willing or even able to give. In that dynamic, your dignity gets left behind. Now, this isn't to suggest that you shouldn't try to repair relationships or put effort into connections that matter. But there's a difference between healthy effort and unhealthy chasing. Effort is mutual. It's two people meeting halfway, recognizing each other's worth, and investing time and care into the relationship. Chasing, on the other hand, is one-sided. It's running after someone who has made it clear, through their actions or lack thereof, that they aren't willing to meet you where you are. The more you chase, the more you begin to question yourself. Why aren't they responding? What did I do wrong? What more can I do to get their attention? These questions create a cycle of self-doubt that feeds insecurity and anxiety. Over time, you might start to believe that their lack of interest or acknowledgement is a reflection of your value, which couldn't be further from the truth. When you chase, you're also telling yourself that their validation is the prize. But here's the truth: no one else's attention or approval is the prize. You are the prize. Your time, your energy, your love, and your presence are invaluable. If someone doesn't recognize that, it's not your job to convince them. It's your job to protect your dignity and redirect your energy toward people and pursuits that do. Chasing also has another unintended consequence. It prevents you from truly seeing the situation for what it is. When you're so focused on pursuing someone, you might overlook the red flags, excuses, or outright indifference they're showing. You might hold on to the hope that they'll change, but in doing so, you risk losing sight of the fact that you deserve better than someone you have to chase. Walking away from someone who is ignoring you doesn't mean you don't care or that you've given up too quickly. It means you value yourself enough to step back and allow the relationship or the lack of one to speak for itself. It means you're willing to choose your dignity over temporary validation. Here's the hard but freeing truth: the right people, the ones who truly care about you, won't need to be chased. They'll show up consistently and willingly because they see your worth and want to be part of your life. The relationships that matter most are built on reciprocity, mutual respect, and shared effort, not pursuit. So the next time you feel the urge to chase, pause. Take a deep breath and remind yourself of your dignity. Remind yourself that your worth isn't something to be earned by proving yourself to others. It's something you carry within you, no matter how anyone else behaves. Walking away isn't a failure, it's an act of self-respect. It's choosing yourself over the chase, and it's the first step toward reclaiming your power, your peace, and your dignity. Silence can be one of the most powerful forms of communication. It doesn't come with words, but it carries meaning. It doesn't make a sound, but it echoes loudly in our hearts and minds. When someone ignores us or chooses silence instead of engagement, it's natural to feel unsettled. We often rush to fill the void with explanations, assumptions, or desperate attempts to reconnect. But what if we paused instead? What if we paused instead? What if we leaned into the silence and truly listened to what it was telling us? Silence is rarely empty. In fact, it's often more revealing than words. When someone chooses not to respond, they are communicating something intentionally or unintentionally. It might reflect their priorities, their feelings, or even their limitations. They may be telling you, I don't value this connection as much as you do, or perhaps I'm not capable of giving you what you need right now. Listening to silence requires courage. It asks us to sit with discomfort, to resist the urge to chase answers or clarity where there might be none. But in that stillness, there is wisdom. Silence gives us a chance to reflect on the dynamics of a relationship, to evaluate whether we're pouring energy into someone who isn't reciprocating, and to recognize patterns we may have been ignoring. Consider this: if someone consistently ignores you or responds with silence, they're making a choice. Whether it's intentional or not, their lack of communication sends a message about where you stand in their life. It might feel harsh, but it's also a gift of clarity. When we truly listen to silence, we can stop clinging to illusions and start aligning our energy with people who value and respect us. At the same time, it's important to remember that silence doesn't always mean rejection or malice. Sometimes silence reflects a person's own struggles. Perhaps they're overwhelmed, unsure of how to respond, or dealing with issues they haven't shared. While it's not your responsibility to decode or fix their silence, you can approach it with empathy. Ask yourself, is this silence a sign of disinterest, or is it a reflection of something they're going through? The distinction matters because it helps you determine whether to extend patience or to let go. However, there's a fine line between empathy and enabling. Listening to silence doesn't mean waiting indefinitely for someone to change. If their silence is a pattern, it's essential to acknowledge the impact it has on you. Relationships thrive on communication, not guesswork. When someone's silence leaves you feeling confused, undervalued, or drained, it's a signal for you to step back and protect your own emotional well-being. Silence is also an invitation to turn inward. Instead of focusing solely on what the other person is trying to convey, ask yourself what the silence is teaching you about yourself. Are you chasing validation from someone who isn't willing to give it? Are you holding on to a connection out of fear of being alone? Or are you trying to force a relationship to work when the other person isn't showing up? These are hard questions, but they're necessary for growth. Sometimes silence is the universe's way of redirecting us. When someone chooses to ignore you, they're creating space in your life space that can be filled with self-reflection, personal growth, and healthier connections. By listening to silence, you reclaim your power. You stop looking outward for answers and start finding them within yourself. Here's the truth: people who genuinely care about you won't let silence linger indefinitely. They'll communicate, show up, and make an effort to bridge the gap. When someone's silence becomes the dominant language of your relationship, it's telling you that their investment doesn't match yours. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Listening to silence isn't about giving up, it's about letting go of what isn't serving you. It's about trusting that the relationships meant for you will be marked by clarity, not confusion. It's about honoring yourself enough to walk away from the noise of doubt and into the peace of self-respect. So the next time someone's silence leaves you questioning, pause. Don't rush to fill the void. Don't chase after answers that may never come. Instead, listen closely. In that silence, you'll find truth, clarity, and the strength to choose what's best for you. Silence is a message one that can guide you toward a life filled with people who choose you, not just when it's convenient, but consistently and wholeheartedly. Attention is intoxicating. When someone notices us, compliments us, or focuses their energy on us, it can feel exhilarating. It's human nature to crave acknowledgement. It validates our existence, our efforts, and sometimes our worth. But here's a critical truth: attention doesn't equal love or respect. And when we confuse the two, we often find ourselves stuck in relationships, situations, or dynamics that drain us instead of nurturing us. Attention is fleeting. It can be given without commitment, sincerity, or depth. Someone might shower you with attention because they enjoy the way you make them feel or because they want something from you. But that doesn't mean they truly care about you. Love, on the other hand, is steady. Respect is enduring. Both are built on a foundation of genuine care, mutual understanding, and shared values. Think about a spotlight. It illuminates, draws focus, and creates a sense of importance. But the spotlight can shift in an instant, leaving you standing in the dark, wondering what went wrong. That's the nature of attention. It's conditional and often self-serving. It might make you feel special in the moment, but it doesn't guarantee that the person giving it values you for who you are. When someone gives you attention, it's important to ask, what is the intention behind this? Are they showing up for you consistently, even when it's not convenient? Do their actions match their words, or are they simply offering empty gestures? True love and respect go beyond the surface. They're not about grand settle for people who only show up when it's easy or exciting, instead of seeking those who will stand by us when things get hard. Respect, unlike attention, is not about fleeting moments, it's about consistent actions. It's someone valuing your time, listening to your thoughts, and treating you with kindness even when no one is watching. Love, too, is more than a feeling. It's a choice, made daily, to prioritize the relationship, to communicate honestly, and to support each other's growth. Let's be clear, attention can be part of love, but it is not the entirety of it. Love without respect is hollow, and attention without sincerity is manipulation. Sometimes people will give you attention to gain something: your approval, your affection, or even control over you. They might use attention as a way to keep you invested in a relationship that isn't truly reciprocal. This is especially common in toxic dynamics, where one person offers just enough attention to keep the other from walking away, but never enough to foster real connection or growth. Understanding the difference between attention and love requires self-awareness. Ask yourself, do I feel valued when I'm with this person, or do I feel like I'm constantly proving my worth? Do they show up for me in meaningful ways, or do they only engage when it suits them? True love and respect will never make you question your value. They will affirm it time and time again. One of the most freeing realizations is this: you don't have to chase attention to feel loved. The right people will love you in ways that are steady, kind, and consistent. They won't need to be reminded to check in on you, to respect your boundaries, or to support your dreams. Their actions will reflect their care, and their presence will feel like home. So the next time someone gives you attention, pause and evaluate. Does their attention come with genuine care, or is it performative? Are they respecting your boundaries and honoring your worth, or are they simply giving you breadcrumbs to keep you engaged? Remember, attention is easy to give. It's a momentary focus. But love and respect are harder. They require effort, commitment, and an alignment of values. Choose relationships that go beyond attention. Choose people who respect you when no one else is looking, and love you without conditions. Because at the end of the day, you deserve more than fleeting moments of acknowledgement. You deserve relationships that nurture, uplift, and truly honor the person you are. When you stop chasing attention and start seeking love and respect, you'll find that your life becomes richer, your relationships more meaningful, and your sense of self unshakable. Energy is one of the most valuable resources we have. It's not infinite, and once it's spent, it can take time to replenish. How we choose to direct our energy, whether through our time, attention, or emotions, determines the quality of our relationships and ultimately our lives. That's why it's so important to be mindful of where and with whom we invest it. The truth is, not everyone deserves your energy, and one of the most empowering lessons you can learn is this: invest your energy in those who invest in you. What does this mean? It means prioritizing relationships that are reciprocal, where the care, effort, and attention you give are met with the same in return. It means recognizing when you're pouring yourself into someone who doesn't reciprocate, and having the courage to step back and redirect that energy toward people who truly value you. We've all been in situations where we've given more than we've received. Perhaps it was a friend who only called when they needed something, a partner who took your efforts for granted, or a colleague who leaned on you for support but disappeared when you needed help. These imbalanced relationships can leave you feeling drained, unappreciated, and even resentful. Here's the hard truth: not everyone in your life will give back what you put in. Some people will take without giving, leaving you emotionally and mentally depleted. Others may unintentionally overlook your contributions, focusing solely on their own needs. And while it's okay to extend grace and understanding occasionally, consistently giving your energy to people who don't invest in you is not sustainable. Investing your energy in the right people starts with identifying who those people are. Look for those who show up for you consistently, not just when it's convenient. These are the friends who check in on you, the family members who listen without judgment, and the colleagues who support your goals. These are the people who celebrate your wins, stand by you during your struggles, and make you feel seen and valued. A healthy relationship is a two-way street. It's built on mutual respect, shared effort, and a genuine desire to see each other thrive. When you invest your energy in those who also invest in you, the relationship becomes a source of strength and joy. It's no longer about keeping score. It's about the natural flow of giving and receiving that leaves both parties feeling fulfilled. On the other hand, when you continually give your energy to people who don't reciprocate, you're engaging in a one-sided dynamic that can be emotionally exhausting. Over time, this imbalance can erode your self-esteem, making you question your worth and wonder why your efforts aren't being appreciated. But the problem isn't you, it's where your energy is being directed. Learning to invest your energy wisely also means setting boundaries. Boundaries aren't about cutting people off or shutting yourself away. They're about protecting your time, energy, and well-being. When someone consistently takes without giving, it's okay to step back. It's okay to say, I can't keep pouring into this relationship without anything in return. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's an act of self-respect. This principle applies not just to personal relationships, but also to your professional and social life. Think about your goals and passions. Are you investing your energy in projects and pursuits that align with your values and dreams? Or are you expending it on tasks and commitments that leave you feeling unfulfilled? Your energy is finite, and it deserves to be spent on things that matter, things that move you closer to your purpose and bring you joy. Investing in those who invest in you doesn't mean expecting perfection. People are human, and even the most loving relationships will have moments of imbalance. What matters is the overall pattern. Are they there for you when it counts? Do they make an effort to reciprocate the energy you give? If the answer is yes, that's a relationship worth nurturing. But if you find yourself constantly chasing someone's attention, waiting for them to match your efforts, or feeling drained by their lack of reciprocity, it's time to reevaluate. Imagine what could happen if you redirected that energy. Imagine how much more fulfilled, empowered, and at peace you would feel if you invested in people who genuinely care for you and relationships that uplift you. When you choose to invest your energy wisely, you create space for deeper, more meaningful connections. You surround yourself with people who inspire you, support you, and make you feel valued. You stop wasting time on relationships that drain you and start focusing on those that energize and fulfill you. So ask yourself, where's my energy going? Who am I pouring into? Are they pouring into me as well? And if not, am I willing to let go and make room for relationships that truly deserve my effort? Remember, your energy is precious. Treat it as the valuable resource it is and invest it in people and pursuits that reflect your worth. By doing so, you'll build a life filled with connection, joy, and mutual respect, a life that nourishes your soul and brings out the best in you. In life, your energy is your most precious resource. Spend it wisely. Prioritize relationships and pursuits that nourish, uplift, and value you. Let go of one-sided connections that drain your spirit and create space for those who truly invest in you. By choosing to invest your energy in people and endeavors that reciprocate, you cultivate a life of balance, fulfillment, and mutual respect. Remember, your worth isn't defined by how much you give, but by how well you honor yourself.